Welcome to the channel. I'm Dani Walker. Today we're going to talk about Miss Universe, but more importantly, Miss USA updates. Thanks for joining. I'm Dani. If you enjoy this content, please consider subscribing and hitting that super thanks button. That is a huge help to creators like myself. So unfortunately today, I am the bearer of bad news. There was a new article that came out and it was published by Business Insider, and I'm going to read some excerpts from this article, but honestly, I really don't even know if this is the best place to start because there were also posts online with updates that we're going to get into, but let's just start here, and I will link this article as well for you. In 2023, on the eve of Miss Universe finals in El Salvador, Paula Shugart announced the end of her 23-year tenure as the president of the Miss Universe organization. Her resignation was met with shock and gasps from thousands of pageant fans in the stands. However, Denise White, one of the judges for the November 2023 competition, wasn't surprised. White told Business Insider that Miss Universe CEO Anne Jakrajuthatip tried to pressure Shugart to favor Miss Thailand in the pageant, wanting the contestant to make the top 5 during the competition. I can't really comment at this time in light of my ongoing litigation against Anne in Thailand, Shugart said, when Business Insider reached out for her to comment, noting that she has a criminal complaint against Jakrajuthatip for defamation in Thailand court. However, there is nothing I have seen in Denise's comments that I would refute. We're also going to go over Denise's other comments online in a USB board as well, because there's more to all of this than just this article. According to ABC News, Jakrajuthatip denied any wrongdoing in Shugart's complaint against her. She said, "I can't believe Anne is telling me that no matter what, we have to make sure Thailand is in the top 5, White said, recalling her conversation with Shugart. White added that Shugart refused to comply with Jakrajuthatip's request, although Thailand's contestant was selected as the first runner-up in the end on her own accord. White, a former Miss Oregon who competed at Miss USA in 1994, specializes in crisis management for high-profile athletes and celebrities. After judging Miss USA 2018, she reconnected with Shugart and was hired as a consultant for the organization in 2022. The Miss Universe organization historically has had no say in who makes it to the top 5. Still, the organization has helped select the semifinalists for the pageant for nearly 20 years. In fact, that was well known to contestants. I have shared this before in my episodes. If you didn't believe me before, I have shared that I can remember signing my contract in 2018, and there was this little clause about how the Miss Universe organization can select a certain number of the semifinalists, and that we all agreed to that. So meaning, they can add girls in, they could really subtract girls from that semi-finalist group. It's not just about what the judges are voting on, and you would hear that at the beginning of the pageant as well. It was just this little phrase, and they would say that the winner is selected in the semi-finalists by the Miss Universe organization members and the judges. The judges made the decision, and Ernst & Young would sign off on it, said the Miss USA employee who asked to remain anonymous for fear of retribution. Ernst & Young was very proud that it was all above board. A different former Miss Universe employee who also asked to remain anonymous confirmed that the Miss Universe 2023 pageant was audited by Ernst & Young, but that the organization's partnership with the accounting firm did not continue in 2024. The source said that the current Miss Universe President Raul Rocha announced publicly Miss Universe 2024 would be audited by Deloitte, but decided to let the company go a month before the competition in Mexico, opting for a local accountant instead. Miss Universe 2023 Antonia Porcelid won first runner-up at the competition, losing the 2023 Miss Universe crown to Miss Nicaragua Shanice Palacios. I judged Thailand harder because I didn't like that Anne was trying to push Paula to somehow tell us, said White, and nobody knew about this except me. The other judges had no idea what was going on. White said Porcelid earned first runner-up fair and square. She totally got it above board. She got this from her own volition. One source who asked to remain anonymous for fear of retaliation recalled the CEO saying, "Why not Thailand?" just moments after the winner was announced. By then, Shugart had already resigned. White said she advised Shugart to make a public speech during the competition. I said, What you've been asked to compromise and the things happening behind the scenes is not okay, White recalled telling Shugart. When Shugart gave her surprise resignation speech the night before finals were announced, she told the crowd and pageant fans there is a critical difference between declaring the words transformational leadership and being a real transformational leader. It can, and it must be empathetic beyond self-interest, Shugart said. It can, and it must be committed to building confidence through inspiration and teamwork, not insecurity and chaos. Above all, it must be about honesty, respect, integrity, and living by your word. She added, one cannot just talk the talk, one must walk the walk. These are the most important takeaways from the Business Insider article. In my opinion, a lot of what was left in the article was all about things that I've already shared on the channel. So like I said, you can check this link out yourself. It will be in the description. Now, Denise also took to a USB board on Facebook and wrote this. She said, posting for Alma. Because now we're going to switch gears and talk about Miss USA. We are very frustrated with some of the comments I've been seeing about Alma Cooper, Miss USA 2024. It's disheartening to read things that suggest she's not doing anything when, in fact, everything she's accomplished is completely legitimate and on her own. She has no active director. Alma is incredibly active, posting nearly every day on what she is doing, and she's balancing a full-time job while traveling across the country for her duties. People have asked, why didn't she head to Miss Universe early when invited? And the truth is, she has a full-time job that she can't just leave her job. She hasn't received a salary for her Miss USA role. Nothing. And it's not fair to expect her to leave active duty in the Army without financial support, her salary from Miss USA. Living in San Francisco at just 22 years old, Alma is managing so much, and her personal success at such a young age is truly impressive. She even paid for all her clothes for Miss Universe herself, except the generous loans from Sherry Hill and Giovanni, which we are grateful for. And yes, she found her own competition dress designer too. Let's be mindful of comments and avoid jumping to conclusions without knowing all the facts. Alma would really appreciate everyone's understanding and support rather than asking, where is she? She's right here trying her hardest to have a successful reign during a time with unprecedented absent leadership from Miss USA and the Miss Universe organization. Of course, people had more follow-up questions, and Denise as well as Alma responded. Kara Hall was asking, is Alma allowed to take a salary with the military? I remember with the Air Force last year, Miss America wasn't allowed or something. At least that's what I was told, and it made sense the way it was explained. Daisy responded to this and said, I remember Miss America talking about not being able to be paid for both at the same time. I believe the policy is you don't get paid if it interferes with your obligations and military regulations. For active duty, they usually have to get their pay approved to ensure no conflicts of interest, time commitments that interfere with jobs, or violations of military policy. It might be a possible explanation for why she isn't compensated. Kara said, oh yes, that's what it was. Couldn't be paid by both. I just assumed it was the same for Alma too. And then Alma said, the Army approved me being paid by Miss USA. I just never was. Denise continued to comment and respond and say, Alma cannot take an official salary. However, she can be paid hourly, and that's what the Army and Laylah had agreed, that Laylah would pay her hourly in the amount of her salary. But Laylah hasn't paid her a dime. Alma got ready for Miss Universe all on her own. When Alma voiced her concerns and her attorney to Miss Universe said that they would reimburse Alma and take care of it, which they have now stopped responding to Alma's attorney. The things that you're learning about right now were happening in 2023. Now, I couldn't share about a lot of them. I still can't share about a lot of them because it's not my story to tell. And when title holders are ready to speak out about their experiences, they are free to do so, as long as they can actually do so with the NDA. Actually, there's a little caveat there. This is what I have been warning contestants about on my channel. I have been sounding the alarm for over a year now at this point about the experience of Miss USA, and I'm just telling you, it's not what it used to be. And it's really, really sad to me that contestants are learning the hard way that you have to fully fund your year as Miss USA. There is, as you can see, Alma's not even being paid. There is no prize package for Miss USA. Miss USA now, the only thing that you get is to borrow that crown for the year. You're going to return that crown anyways. You get the sash, you get the title in name only, and you get no prize package. Alma's not even living in Miami. She doesn't have her car, no salary, nothing, you guys. It is so expensive to self-fund a Miss Universe journey, especially if you don't already have a large following. Alma does not have a huge following. In the past, it was like overnight contestants that would win Miss USA would get this huge social media following. It was always kind of exciting to watch a contestant go from, you know, maybe 5,000 subscribers to over 100,000 subscribers at least overnight. That's what happened my year at Miss USA to Sarah. I mean, Sarah was verified overnight, had hundreds of thousands of followers, just like that. And that is not the reality anymore. Compete, do whatever you want to do what you feel like is best for you. I just want contestants to fully understand there's zero financial support. So if this is not something that you can self-fund, and if you win Miss USA, your hands are going to be tied. And I have also heard of other things happening because state directors have stepped away, that different sponsors at the state level at this point are refusing to honor their sponsorships, even for state title holders, because they signed contracts with state directors and those state directors did not renew their contracts with Miss USA. At the time of the Hulu documentary Cracks in the Crown, they disclosed that there were 10 states that did not have directors for the upcoming 2025 season at Miss USA. As far as I know now, that number has increased to 11. Recently, the director of Montana, my state, Lisa Pierce, she also stepped away, and now she is directing the National Queen of the World pageant. So she's still in pageantry, but not dealing with any of this anymore. So now we have 11 states with no directors, 11 titles for Miss, and then 11 for teens, so really 22 title holders. We are already in mid-March. Now, when all of this started happening, when Laylah took over, I created an episode and I was asking, will we even have Miss USA? And I said that in jest initially, because it was crazy to me that in the past, state pageant season was end of August, like last weekend of August or first weekend of September. And then by March, everything was done. And really in March, there were only a few state pageants then. But now we're at this point where we only have, I believe, 3 state title holders that have been crowned so far, 3 out of 51, and 11 states with no one planning their state pageant. Who is gonna plan these state pageants is my question. And I feel so bad for anybody stepping into these roles, because how are they gonna plan these pageants before Miss USA, which I feel like Miss USA is gonna be in the fall again. That's when it's been. What's happening to these 11 states? What's happening to these 22 titles? I have no good answer for you. And I'm telling you, because of the damage that has been done to this brand, there are so many sponsors, there are television networks who do not want to touch right now the Miss Universe organization. So before we see this brand really succeed and grow again, they're gonna have to repair the damage that has been done. They're gonna have to try to earn back trust with viewers, with contestants, and with sponsors before you're gonna really start attracting those large sponsors again. But the problem there is that you're gonna need a lot of money to do that in the first place. It's like this big catch-22. If you wanna bring more money in, you have to, at this point, inject a ton of money into this dying organization. There's ways to do it, but those ways are being overlooked right now, unfortunately. So this is the update that I have for you. Like I said, I'm very sorry to be a bearer of bad news and share all of these updates with you, but as always, I'm here. I'll stay up to date, and please let me know what you'd like to see next on the channel.